Well, my thanks to Dr. Hak Ja-han Moon for her admirable efforts to bring peace to the Korean Peninsula and to all nations who aspire for peace and security for all people. The 20th century taught us that peace and security for all people is difficult when there's war and hostility. World War I and World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the war in Afghanistan, the war in Iraq, the war in Bosnia, and other conflicts in the 20th century took the lives of millions of people. Our goal and the duty of all governments that represent the people is to ensure that there is no war, that we use the tools of diplomacy, negotiations, and foreign aid and assistance, and a strong military deterrence to ensure that we don't repeat the lessons of the 20th century. In North Korea, we have this opportunity. Through negotiations, we must continue to work to ensure that there's complete and verifiable denuclearization. In return, and I emphasize this, in return for security assurances, the lifting of sanctions, economic development assistance, and a path to normal relations. This then will contribute to the ultimate goal, the reunification of the Korean Peninsula. And that's what this summit is all about. This summit is about peace, security for all people. But the focus today and tomorrow will be the issue of North Korea and the reunification of the Korean Peninsula. Let's get our government seized with the necessity to peacefully resolve issues with North Korea, which will then contribute, indeed, to the reunification of the Korean Peninsula. We've negotiated for almost 30 years with North Korea, and some say we will never succeed with denuclearization. I disagree. When we engage with North Korea, they are not building and testing more nuclear weapons. When we stop talking to North Korea, they build more weapons. And as we saw with Syria, they can either sell those weapons or the technical know-how. They did this, as I mentioned, with Syria and Al-Kabar. Fortunately, Israel took that facility out in September 2007. That's a very vivid and very contemporary lesson learned. When we stop negotiating, when we stop seeking a peaceful resolution, when we stop talking, and indeed when we stop talking, we could stumble into conflict and an accidental war. So persist with negotiations. Be creative. Be flexible. There's an opportunity here, an opportunity for peaceful resolution. And we all know, and as we witnessed during these last few weeks with Ukraine, the world is very tense. There are many issues. And some say the world is in disarray. We have an opportunity on the Korean Peninsula. We have an opportunity with North Korea to peacefully resolve this issue. Indeed, they would not have been at the table with us for those 30 years. Indeed, they would not have been at the table with former President Donald Trump if they weren't looking for a normal relationship with the United States, with the Republic of Korea, with the global community. Peace is achievable, but we will have to work at it. And as you're doing with this World Summit 2022, this is movement in the right direction. So my thanks again to Dr. Hak Ja-han Moon for her admirable work, not only with this forum, but for seeking peaceful resolutions to all those issues, obviously to include the issue with North Korea, but all those issues that affect all people, so that we can have a 21st century where we don't have the conflict we witnessed during the 20th century, and we can live in peace and harmony. So I thank you for the invitation. I wish you well for this very, very important World Summit. Thank you.